So next up we have Surinder Tandon on the Christchurch Multicultural Council, Inc. Welcome.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Surinder. Welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Tēnā koutou katoa. Good afternoon, namaste, and greetings in the other languages of over 180 ethnic communities we represent here in our multicultural city. Christchurch Multicultural Council, which is an incorporated society, is a voluntary organization working in the advocacy and advisory role for the ethnic communities for the last 35 years. I've been on the executive committee for the last 25 years and been the chair or president unopposed, elected unopposed since 2009. And I value our strong relationship between Multicultural Council and Christchurch City Council, as you all know. What do we do? Just very briefly, I'm not going to read my submission. I'm just going to talk about key points, acknowledgements, and appeal or request, right? So what we do, we foster and promote unity in diversity. We are one kotato tato, as we know, social cohesion, civic participation, capacity building, greater ethnic representation, well-being, and last but not the least, territory-based multiculturalism, as we know, who are I, how. We work very closely with the Christchurch City Council, as I mentioned before, as well as with the neighboring district councils, Selwyn and Waimakariri, government agencies, NGOs, and the CAL communities as well. We have over 80 formal membership representing various ethnic groups and agencies. Our submission has been mainly on the aspects of your heading in the long-term plan called Our Community Outcomes and Priorities. So, firstly, on behalf of the Christchurch Multicultural Council, I would like to acknowledge your funding for the opening of so-called Christchurch Multicultural Recreation and Community Center. As you know that Multicultural Council, Refugee Council, and Hagley College, spoke in this very chamber twice in the, previous years, appealing for the, funding for the formation of so-called multicultural hub that time. So we very much value your, funding for that. And now we see that it has been launched and been used. And we also acknowledge that you have allocated about $1.257 million for, over 10-year period for the development of facilities there. We would like adequate resourcing and allocation of funds for the refurbishment and operation of that for wider community. Multicultural Council requests Christchurch City Council not to disestablish its Multicultural Committee. It had been running for 2 terms under the chairmanship of former Councillor Jimmy Chen. This Multicultural Committee has been found to be an effective medium for the implementation of multicultural strategy, for communication with Multicultural Council and other CALD agencies, NGOs, government departments, ethnic community groups, for updates, community issues and needs, funding, events, and all that. This has been found very effective, and we appeal to City Council to continue and fulfill its role as in the form of Multicultural Committee. As before, we refer you to the Objective 1.3 of Strengthening Communities Together strategy, which also refers to multicultural strategy in its Pillar 1, Objective 1.3. We appreciate there is a multicultural advisory group, but we, Multicultural Council, are not on that group. Unfortunately, our application for nomination was declined because it was told to us that Christchurch City Council through Multicultural Committee already, communicates with the Multicultural Council. So we now have no formal platform to, communicate with City Council. So also there is a welcoming communities program. Now City Council has started supporting, which was started by Immigration New Zealand. So we were supporting your multicultural committee, advisor and other staff. But I'm saying there is a need for multicultural committee. And we represent over 180 ethnic communities, and they all say that, Christchurch City Council was the first in New Zealand to have multicultural strategy, was the first in New Zealand to have multicultural center, was the first in New Zealand to have multicultural committee, and now we see that there's no multicultural committee since the last, election, if I say. I
don't want to be rude, Surinder, but your 5 minutes is up, so if you could.
Yeah, so we would very much like to, appeal to Christchurch City Council to, relook at restarting the multicultural committee. We support your multicultural portfolio chair, Councillor Tyler, and your other colleagues, and of course the other staff at the Multicultural Center. So just finishing off, we like to say that, Christchurch Multicultural Strategy is an independent standalone strategy. It doesn't, I know it refers to strengthening communities, but it's a separate strategy. And City Council needs to acknowledge that in the long-term plan. There's no mention of the word multicultural in the, discussion plan document. And we would like City Council to retain the Multicultural Committee, keep implementing the multicultural strategy, so that we also, support you for implementing the recommendations of the Royal Commission report on the 15th March mosque attacks, which City Council has, acknowledged, supporting that by the former Mayor Leanne Dalzell. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Excellent.
Nami Inui, thank you so much for the opportunity. Any questions?
I'm sorry, there's no time today.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm happy to meet with any councillors or team
Offline,
members later
yeah.
offline.
That'd
Thank
be
you
good.
so much.
Thank you. Welcome to Joanne Tyndall.
Pauline, just on the staff requests, because we've been doing them as we go through, could we get an update on that? Because I for one, would be interested in, Tyler leading a committee again.
On the
We're
committee?
halfway through the term, so just on that one, could be interesting. We've had a specific request for it. Is it too
No,
late?
that's okay.
So you don't want to do it?
I don't mind if
Just,
Councillor Kewan wants to put the question through, because
Yep.
we know what the response will be. So welcome. To put through for staff, yeah?
It's a question around advice on what events potentially at risk for the multicultural community if we cut event funding as proposed, such as the Christchurch Holy Festival of Colours, which relies on the events funding.
Have we captured that,
Thank you.
Kathy?